47% of the global network of working is women. But only 27% of women are in management and leadership roles. 27%. I just want you to take a moment to think about that. On that ladder to management lies a broken rung. For every 100 men promoted from entry level to management roles, only 87 women are promoted. And that number is even lower for women of color. This means that men outnumber women in huge numbers before we even move to senior management roles. There are just simply not enough women to promote to the next level. These are just the facts. What I want to do is to look at how we can change this without necessarily working harder. There are lots of ways to management, and I want to speak to you specifically about visibility. For a lot of these women, it is simply because they're just not visible. From a very young age, females are told by society to be seen but not heard, to work hard and keep your head down, speak when spoken to, don't rock the boat. As the nursery rhyme says, what are little girls made of? Sugar and spice, and all things nice. That's what little girls are made of. So why would we do anything different when we grow up and enter the workforce? This is something that has been ingrained into us for years. Harvey J. Coleman, author of Empowering Yourself, The Organizational Game Revealed, has a different theory, the PI theory of success. Performance, image, exposure. Performance only counts for 10% when it comes to promotions. He believes that image counts for 30%, and exposure counts for a huge 60%. Working hard is great, but it isn't going to get you seen, and it probably isn't going to get you that promotion. So how do you become more visible? Let me tell you a story. I've been in the cybersecurity industry in a technical role for about 20 years. I know, hard to believe, I look so young. For 15 of those years, I worked hard. I kept my head down, I spoke up when needed, I shared my opinions when asked. I did those extra hours working late in the office. You all know what I'm talking about. Was I noticed? No. Well, my immediate colleagues knew who I was. I was a hard worker. I was a team player. 5 years ago, I read a book by James Franklin called Insecurity. And I realized that I wasn't being seen, and this was really damaging my career progression. So I decided I wanted to do something about this. I wanted to be visible. I wanted to be seen. Not just by working hard, but by really putting myself out there and stepping outside of my comfort zone. And connecting more widely and sharing my views, my knowledge, and my expertise more publicly. So taking her advice, I started writing blogs. Got involved with DEI events, our school outreach program. And suddenly, I was Bharti talks about mental health, runs a small business, wants to empower young women into male-dominated careers, cares about diversity and inclusion in the workplace. I had people at work who knew who I was before I'd even spoken to them for the first time. And if I'm honest, it was a little bit scary. I had people who were championing my ideas and my suggestions. I had people from big tech organizations adding me on LinkedIn and telling me, I like what you're doing. I was even offered a job because of who I am seen to be, a brand that only started 5 years ago. A couple of years ago, I was nominated for an award, and I had people I'd never met in person who wanted to help me with my submission. So in turn, I started doing this for other people, other women who I thought just needed a little bit of help to be more visible. I was recently looking for a new challenge at work, and I identified some sponsors, people who were willing to put in a good word for me, and others that were willing to adapt to roles so I could remain part-time. I now have a whole group of people who are willing to support and champion me and cheerlead me both inside and outside of my organization, helping me to believe that I can do all the things I never thought were possible, like doing this talk. Working hard is great, but it doesn't get you seen. Another issue around visibility is it's really hard to believe that you can be something that you can't see. Someone that looks like you, that you can relate and connect to. How can you be in a senior management role if all the managers around you are men and you're a woman? Or the women that do seem to make it don't have a family life to juggle, but you're a mum. You'll simply find it harder to believe that you can be something that you can't see. You have to see it to be it. So how do you become more visible? So although I've talked about women so far, this actually applies to men and women in the workplace. So we've all heard about the old boys network. And I can just imagine how many of you are rolling your eyes at this for all of the right reasons. It is an elitist, discriminating club of men. However, let me flip it on its head and let's take a look at what it does offer. What the Old Boys Network did really well, it was a place for like-minded individuals to connect with each other, people that looked like them, that they could relate to, a place where they created exposure for each other. What I am suggesting is that we create a modern-day version of this club, a more inclusive, open to all genders, people from all backgrounds, different levels in their careers. A place for supporters, or as I like to call them, the cheerleaders without the pom-poms, who will talk about you positively when you aren't in the room. Exposure is the best way of being seen. So this is where your network comes in. Let them do the talking for you. And then this is the crucial part. Pay it forward. So how do you build this network? This is called strategic networking. This is where you identify what you want to achieve and who's going to help you get there. And then you start building your network. And here is my list of people for you to go and find and ways to connect with them. So firstly, I'd highly recommend you find yourself a mentor. A mentor can help you to come up with what goals you might like to have. They can give you advice and guidance, and they can give you support to help you to get closer to those goals. Someone with traits that you might like to have in the future is a great way of identifying this person. And when you find them, just be open and honest, tell them that they inspire you and you want to learn from them. Everyone loves a bit of praise, and this really opens up the door for this type of relationship. This person is normally in a much more senior role than yourself and can be inside or outside of your organization. In addition to a mentor, I'd also recommend you find yourself a coach. Whilst mentoring can provide great advice and guidance, a coach can help to mobilize changes with actions and accountability to help you get to your goals. A coach at work could be your line manager, or it could be someone inside or outside your organization who's an expert in the area that you want to succeed in. The cheerleaders, my favorite. These are the people that will remind you of how far you've come and to give you the extra support and motivation when you need it most. We often find it easier to praise others before we'll praise ourselves. And this is how you build your network. You have to be the cheerleader first. It can be one of the hardest things to do, but once you start, it does get easier. And it is incredibly rewarding and encourages others to do the same with the pay-it-forward mindset, creating a domino effect and improving the working landscape for everybody. You can have lots of cheerleaders inside your network from both inside and outside of your organization. And they can be more senior than you, someone at the same level as you, or more junior than yourself. The sponsor. This person will see something in you that you don't quite see in yourself yet. They are the trump card in your back pocket. They are one of the hardest people to find, but once you start networking, you'll find them. There might be more of them than you realize. This person will vouch for you. They will give you that recommendation or referral to help you get closer to your goals. You will have to find them. They already exist, and they've already seen your worth. This person is normally in a much more senior role than yourself, and typically inside of your organization. And finally, the advocate. This person will actively mention your name in the room when you're not there. They will ensure people are aware of your skills and your abilities, and they want you to succeed. This person will proactively champion your cause. This person is normally one of your peers. So strategic networking is how you find all of these people, and it is the hardest form of networking to do, not only for women, but men too. It does require dedicating time and effort to making this happen and really stepping outside of your comfort zone. But the rewards are worth it. And it doesn't just stop there. You might start to build a network for yourself, but you should be in other people's networks too. There are no hard or fast rules about being in a modern day version of the club. They have to just stay in one. You could be a mentor and a cheerleader in one, a sponsor, an advocate, or a coach in another. Pay it forward. I want you to think about all of the people that I've mentioned here today and identify them in your network. If they don't exist, go out and find them. And if you don't have a network, now is a great time to start building one. Thank you.